and welcome to the Think Local First radio show. I am your host, Matthew Swinnerton, and this is actually an annual day, a special day. This is Bring Your Parents to Work Day, or maybe not, but I brought mine just in case. They're here from Los Angeles. You know, and I was thinking about it, not to get all stuck about me and my family for the next 5 minutes, but if I think of the 40 years that I actually knew my parents, they only had about 3 jobs between them. You know, and that was only for short periods of time. Most of the time, they own their business. They ran their own business. So we always hear about the question: are you born an entrepreneur, or can you learn to be an entrepreneur? Any viewpoints on that? I'm going to jump right in there. Guess, what do you think?
I think you can learn. This is Dave, Kayak Connection. I definitely think you can learn. I know from personal experience. I met a couple people as I was coming up through various careers, and just got inspired by meeting the right people.
So it definitely could be a learned thing. Well, hey, we just introduced our first guest. That's Dave Grigsby from Kayak Connection. Just let you know what the show is about. Each and every week, we talk with local businesses, local owners. We talk about how they started their business, why they started their business, the challenges they face opening the business, and also the challenges they face on a day-to-day business running that business. And at the end of the day, what drives and motivates them to do what they do. So this is episode number 10. We've been doing it for a little time now. Let's introduce our 3 guests. We have Justis Earle from HANSNAP. How you doing, Justis?
Fantastic.
So the first time that I had my eyes on Justis or heard about Justis, it was a friend's Instagram, and I think you were skating in like a New York airport.
Yeah, I think it was Las Vegas, actually.
Las Vegas,
yeah.
Okay. That was it. That was my first impression of Justis, and I think it's very fitting, because we'll talk about that soon. That fits in what you do. And then we have Kelley, what's your last name?
Lehner.
Kelley Lehner from Klub Nico. How you doing today?
Good, thanks.
So we're going to talk about your wholesale business and on your website, but you also have a retail business. When it rains like this in Santa Cruz, we actually have rain. This is awesome. How does that affect your retail business?
It doesn't really have a huge impact. People are just out and about and doing their thing. And,
anyway.
Yeah, so.
Yeah. It's exciting when it rains. How about you, Dave? But when it rains, what happens?
I'll put it this way. The drought has been very good for us. Yeah. If it's a rainy day, not a lot of people.
It's a good day to clean the kayaks.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so then it's a perfect day for you to come to the show then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have a question, if you have a comment for our 3 guests, you can call 831-479-1080. That is 831-479-1080. Or you can email me, Matthew@eventsantacruz.com. That's Matthew@eventsantacruz.com. So let's go to our first segment. And Justis, you are going to be on the hot seat. This is kind of like the how you started segment. So what is HANSNAP?
HANSNAP is a gadget that I invented.
Okay.
Basically, you slip your smartphone into it, and it locks it to your hand, and then it enables a bunch of different ergonomic filming positions.
Okay. So how did you come up with the idea?
So it was this last Valentine's Day. My wife and I were at a romantic evening of death metal in San Francisco.
And she's in the studio audience today.
She's here with us supporting. So I was crowd surfing, and I wanted to capture that moment of crowd surfing.
We've all been there, right?
Yeah, I thought to myself, strangers groping me. I want to record this.
It's very transcendent in a way that you're just kind of floating on a bunch of people you've never met in your life. So I wanted to capture that experience and share it with people that may never experience that. And I wanted, at first I was thinking, my wife could film me, but then I didn't want my wife in the mosh pit, subjected to those perils and such. And then I was I'm going to film myself. And then I realized I don't want my phone dropping in the midst of a bunch of savages. I may never see my phone again. So immediately after that, I began prototyping, trying to design a way that I could strap my phone to my hand, filming myself, and I got some of my buddies and we did some CAD drawings and designings, and I did some 3D printing and was sewing and just put together this gadget that I brought into the studio. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the inception of it.
Kelley, when's the last time you've been in a mosh pit?
No.
It didn't happen. I think I was like 20 years ago at the Palladium with the Beastie Boys, but I think
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
with you, Matthew. It's been a long time.
Yeah, that was it. I don't think that we didn't have iPhones back then. Yeah. Yeah. So that just seems like incredibly hard. Can I see this for a second? So I am holding this. Actually, for our viewing audience, here's what it is. This seems incredibly hard to make. This is not like, I don't know, when I make a company, or like it seems like a lot of my people I work with mostly, it's like a website. And it's like, it's a lot of code like that. You actually had to physically design this. What is the process? And we're going to talk about your Kickstarter soon. But what's the process of actually getting this from like a concept in your head actually to a physical product?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I've invented a handful of things in my life, and just I like thinking about physical products. I like, working in the shop and just kind of putting things together. So when I started this, it was somewhat intuitive because I knew what I wanted to do, but actually designing the hinge mechanism and how it articulates and wraps around took a handful of weeks of just drawing out what I was thinking and conceptualizing. And then, it's crazy the day and age we live in. I was able to then 3D print what I was imagining.
Oh, wow.
Because that's kind of limiting, you don't have necessarily a shop that you can go and, I don't know, carve out metal and wood and whatever. So 3D printing was, incredible at this stage.
Did you get that done locally or over the hill, or?
I got that done. There's a shop in the North Bay that did a fantastic job.
In putting that together for you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. So, this is a new endeavor for you. Have you had other entrepreneurial endeavors that you've done, or because I know you work for a solar company right now, correct?
Yeah.
So is this like your first jaunt at being an entrepreneur?
Kind of, and it's interesting when you open up the show. You're talking about as an entrepreneur born or made, and nature versus nurture sort of thing. And I just remember thinking back as a kid, I was always, growing up in Scotts Valley, I'd go to the local store owners and ask them if I could do work for them and try and hustle up work. I had a regular lawn mowing gig that I hustled up on my own when I was a kid. So it's always kind of been in the back of my mind to do my own thing. Sorry, what was the question?
So have you always? I know. So have you always been an entrepreneur? And I think you kind of said that's like as a kid you were kind of doing that.
Yeah. So I have a cool story. I mean, it didn't start out very cool. I broke my ankle maybe 5 years ago.
Okay.
And I was going to this conference, and the chow hall to the main conference area was a long hall, and I didn't want to be on crutches. Crutches are terrible for anybody that's been in that position. So I saw these knee scooters around, and they're at the time they were kind of prohibitively expensive, and I needed something now. So I took a Razor scooter that I had laying around the house, and I fashioned a knee scooter out of it that I was cruising around. So here I am in full leg ankle cast, and I'm bombing hills on this cool little knee scooter that I made. And I started getting dirty looks from people that thought I was just, being a clown at this conference or whatever. And then people started coming up to me and just really liked what I made. And I was trying to figure out how to manufacture that and kind of have an extreme sports version of this, medical device. And it's somewhat of a contradiction in terms, I suppose. But when you're somebody who wants to do extreme things and you get broken like that, you don't want to stop. You don't want to take that time to recover righteously. You want to go bomb hills and stuff. So that business venture didn't really work out, but it's still in the back of my mind.
Good.
It's still there.
I was just thinking about you because you're also a lead singer of a band, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, isn't that kind of like an entrepreneur-like kind of endeavor there? You sell CDs, you make a product, you sell it?
More so than I'd ever realized. Yeah. It's crazy. These guys, I grew up listening to Metallica, and idolizing all these different rock stars and whatever. And you think of music as being so organic. It's like, oh, you think of a tune, and then you get your buddies together, and you guys just jam for hours, and then everybody loves you, and it's very much so like a business. We've gone as, we've developed our band to the best it's been, this version right now. But we've gone through literally 20 members, and Craigslist ads, and meeting people, and flaky musicians, and it's crazy, the amount of work that goes into starting a band that does anything.
Well, you actually did get your band though in the KickStarter video, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into that. The KickStarter, that is happening when for your product?
So the goal is this next Friday. We want to launch on Black Friday, mostly because it's the most metal day we could possibly launch.
Okay. Very fitting.
But also just pragmatically. But realistically, we have a lot of things to cover going into the Kickstarter. We're ramping up. We're getting all the things tailored. The video is almost done. I was crowd surfing in my video. My band played. We do an art and music party at my house, and I just launched off this vocal box wearing my HANSNAP, capturing some of the footage in the moment. It was a lot of fun. And
so you have some lofty goals, though. This is not like a small $2,000 Kickstarter project.
Right.
This is pretty big. What are you going for?
So my goal is $90,000.
Okay.
And that's a very realistic cost of manufacturing. Getting professional designers, having tooling costs, manufacturing costs, just all the things associated with bringing a physical product to market. And I know, Kelley, that's something that she can attest to as well, I'm sure.
So with Kickstarter, though, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have to get to your goal, right? And if you say 90,000 is the goal I'm going for, and you get to 88,000, you don't get that money, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So do you have? I'm guessing you have your process in place, but what is your process of making sure that you get to that point? What are some of the things you're going to do to make sure you get to that point where enough people know about your product or know about Kickstarter? Sorry.
Yeah, so there's a number of things. Crowdfunding's been a tremendous boon to entrepreneurs because now you're not necessarily beholden to investors. You can come up with a great idea and then launch it on your own. And so because of that, there's been this kind of swarm of coverage around that, people figuring out how it works, and there's a lot of great stuff online. So what we're trying to do is just kind of activate the local community, fantastic shows like this one here, and
thank you.
Just getting your local network of Facebook, social media, all that stuff, getting awareness.
So it's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you gonna do like a 1 month or a 2 month? Do you know how long the Kickstarter is gonna be? Have you worked that out yet?
Yeah, so I think the Kickstarter is gonna be 45 days.
45 days. Okay.
What we want to do, the winter season is kind of a slow season, and there's a lot of holidays in there. People are traveling and so forth. So the goal is to launch right after Thanksgiving, get Christmas, New Year's, and then I'm actually going to CES in Nevada, there.
Yeah.
And I
heard that show's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be insane. I was actually out there a couple weeks ago for a solar convention, and the convention center there in Vegas is just huge. There's, thousands and thousands of people there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the goal.
So you have, I think, Gorilla Branders. They're going to be helping you with that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So one of my, closest friends started a local media ad, agency here in town, and my wife works for them, and they've assembled a team, and they've really been fantastic advocates for this project and helping me do media and branding and awareness, and also they also helped start an incubator in Scotts Valley with another local entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, Andy Van Valer helped helped start Borland and Netflix, and so he's been an amazing advocate and business advisor. And
great. Well, we'll all be supporting that Kickstarter. What's the website?
Thank you.
What's your website so we know where to go to on December 3rd? No, when's what's Kickstarter again?
so the Kickstarter is Black Friday,
Okay, what date is that? I should know.
the 28th.
28th? Okay, whatever Black Friday is.
28.
Okay.
Okay, and then the website?
The website is, right now it's hansnap.com, HANSNAP.com.
Okay, and they can find out about the Kickstarter there.
Yeah.
About when it's actually available.
Yep.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's move on to Kelley. Kelley from Klub Nico, Club with a K. How you doing, Kelley?
Good, thanks.
So I want to know, how did you start? Because when I look at your LinkedIn profile, you started off working for Coca-Cola as an account executive.
Right.
How do you go from account executive to owning a shoe business?
I moved from Brazil back to California.
Why?
So, I lived in Rio for, about 7 years. My husband's Brazilian. And it was great. I loved living in Rio. It was a great place to spend your 20s. Had good jobs, like great friends. His family was there. I just, after a couple years, it just got kind of tired of it. I don't know if it was a 7-year itch or what, but it's a little bit violent there. And I was just ready to come home. My family's here, so.
So what was it about shoes then?
So it's something I kind of fell into. I knew when I came back I had to work. Like I don't, I'm not a trust fund kid or anything by any means. So, so I had to work, and it was kind of, the economy was kind of bad with the .com crash and everything. And I didn't really want to have to commute and go over the hill every day to get a real marketing job.
Yeah. Many of us don't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I've always loved shoes, and just one thing led to another. I put together a small collection. I found some really good factories to work with down in Brazil, and they helped me with everything. So yeah, I put together some samples, went to a few local trade shows, sold them to local boutiques. And then back in the day, it was very just so basic. It's almost kind of funny now to think of how I started.
It's been a while. How long?
Gosh, I've been doing this for 9 years, almost 10 years now. So
how did you, I design shoes. I mean, how do you learn to do that? I mean, there's a software, I put the leather here, this, how do you do that?
No, I think you just have to have a good eye for fashion, a good understanding of what you want as a consumer, and then I think that translated really easily. So for me, it's more to come up with the design and the concept of the shoe. I love to mix different leathers and materials and make something fun and unique, but not kind of over the top crazy. Okay. And then too, fortunately in the factories, they have a good technical team. So they measure everything to the exact millimeter to make sure the shoe's gonna fit. And sometimes I'll be hey, I want to do this, and they'll be no, sorry, you can't do that. Or I want to use this leather, and they're no, the finish won't be good on that. So it's it's a relationship that I've built with the factories to help me with the production.
So it's kind of the same question that I asked Justis, but have you always thought of yourself as an entrepreneur?
No, but I think you have to have the right type of personality to have your own company. It's hard, it's a lot of work, and
it's not a 9 to 5, at 6 o'clock, okay, I'm going to have dinner.
No,
and it's over.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great because I have freedom. I get to travel. I can, help drive on field trips with my children. I can do different things that I think I wouldn't be able to do if I had a 9 to 5 job. Yeah. But you're on 24/7. It's I joke. It's I haven't taken a vacation. I go on vacation with my laptop and my cell phone, but I'm not actually on vacation.
Exactly.
So you're on all the time.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get in. Sorry, I thought of something else real fast. But so you have 3 different, basically, what I'm getting, I think, is you have the wholesale side of your business.
Yes.
You have the retail, and then you have the online. How did those, which came first? How did that process work?
So first was the wholesale. So that's how I started. And so basically what I do is I come up with a collection, and I go to different trade shows or go visit different clients, and then they book orders based off of the styles that they like. And then once I can justify putting a style into production, then I'll send that down to the factory to get that produced and to sell to them. Okay. So second, I had my website because that's easier to do. Yeah. You can store inventory wherever you need to. And it's easy. You don't have a physical place. So that was, I guess, kind of my second outlet. And then I just opened our store May of last year.
Oh, so recently.
Yeah, so it's above Deluxe Food. Super cute, and I have the offices in the back, so it's kind of a win-win situation.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I want to talk more about you. We definitely have a good amount of time to talk with you, but we have to have a commercial break. So we'll talk with you in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Wow, I'm standing outside the Staff of Life Natural Food Store watching shoppers buzz in and out like bees at their hive on a hot summer day. I'm wondering, what do all those shoppers find at Staff of Life they can't find at the big box store? Let's ask.
Tom, I've been shopping at Staff of Life since they first opened. It's always good. Good prices, good selection. You always see people you know, like you.
Hi, my name's Kalila. They're wonderful people, and I like to give my business to the people in my community. They have a good meat department. They have a great produce department. I mean, you can't find anything like this. It's for me that it's very satisfying to shop here.
Sharon, Santa Cruz. Staff of Life has the best food. I get fresh everything I need. They have a lot of things I can't find anywhere else.
Think local first and eat local first by shopping a genuine Santa Cruz tradition. The original, locally owned Staff of Life Natural Food Store at 1266 SoCal Avenue in Santa Cruz. If you can't find it at Staff of Life, maybe you don't want to find it.
From apples to zebras, well, you can buy anything online, except peace of mind and professional, caring advice. Hello, I'm Matthew King of King Insurance and Financial. Our family-owned agency is celebrating its 50th anniversary, providing Santa Cruz County businesses and residents with valuable advice. King Insurance is proud of being recognized as experts on the Affordable Care Act, better known as Obamacare, as well as on the insurance products you need to protect your business, home and auto, and on the life insurance and financial services you need to protect your family's future. Celebrating our 50th anniversary with you is an important milestone for us. Whether guiding a devastated client through the loss of a home fire or advising everyone through the confusing and unsettling new healthcare laws, we're always proud to be here for you. Yes, you can buy just about anything on the internet, but if you want peace of mind and professional, caring advice, call on King Insurance and Financial, a proud member of Think Local First, 688-1434, or visit us online at santacruzinsurance.com.
Welcome back to the Think Local First radio show. I'm your host, Matthew Swinnerton, and I'm joined with Dave, Kelley, and Justis. So we're going to talk to Kelley a little bit more about Klub Nico. So Kelley, how many pairs of shoes do you own?
Do I own personally or
Yes.
in my warehouse?
You own personally, that you wear.
That I wear. Oh my gosh.
Are you like a shoe person?
I'm a total shoe person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been a shoe person. I think you're either a shoe person or you're not.
Yeah.
So, gosh, I don't even know how many pairs I have in my closet.
Quite a few.
Quite a few.
More than
yeah.
4?
Yeah.
So what makes it different? Like, I mean, I think that's so cool that you can create shoes. And basically, you're creating them out of nothing. It's like, no, these are your complete own designs. What makes your shoes, I guess, a little different? Or how, when somebody asks you, like, so what kind of shoes do you make? What do you say?
So the shoes that I make, Klub Nico, they're all very feminine, like very femmy, just really cool, different shoes. A lot of people, it's the type of shoe where when you're walking down the street, someone will stop you and be like, oh my gosh, where did you get those? They're just different.
So you know you did something right if they ask that.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of our retailers too, that's what they look for, because if there's a ton of shoe companies, there's a ton of shoe brands, and then you just kind of have to find your own niche and something that kind of makes you a little bit different from everybody else.
So it seems like, from talking to you before the show started, that you really hustled. I mean, it wasn't just like you opened up a website, like, okay, I hope somebody buys my shoes at some point. You talked about how you got into Nordstroms. Mm-hmm. And you probably have other stories like that. How much hustle do you think it really takes to make something like this successful? Oh my gosh, it takes a lot of hustle, and it just takes a lot of time. Things just don't happen overnight. I mean, I've been doing this for 9, almost 10 years, and it's a battle. Like, you face different challenges. There's peaks and valleys, and it takes a lot. And then too, even though, okay, yeah, I'm in Nordstrom, I have one style that's going to be in 88 doors, which for me is huge.
But now it's like I can't sit back and relax. Oh, I'm in Nordstrom. Now I feel like I have to work even harder to keep that relationship. So.
Do you know, I have a confession. I actually was, when I was 18, I was a women's shoes salesperson, whatever, at Nordstrom's.
Which one?
In Glendale.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my favorite jobs. I worked like 3 hours, and I felt like I made a whole full-time pay and like some of the time because a lot of the people were very tired that worked there.
Oh.
They were older, tired, like when they come, and like me and this other guy were like, okay, let's sell anything we can and like fight for it and stuff. But that's just like what you're talking about. You can't have things just happen to you. You got to make it happen.
You have to make it happen.
And as an entrepreneur, it won't. You won't be able to eat if you don't. So again, just so everybody knows, where can we find you if they want to buy your shoes?
Oh gosh, you can buy shoes at our store, which is above Deluxe Food and Aptos. You could buy it online. It's clubnico.com. And then with retailers, we sell to Nordstrom. So we're in about 88 doors plus Nordstrom.com. I do a good business with Anthropologie. So we're in a lot of their doors. Doors, I mean their stores.
Yeah.
And then their .com. Garnet Hill is a good client, which is a Kelley company based out of New Hampshire, I'm going to say, but they're national. So those are some of our main clients right now.
Your website again?
It's clubnico.com.
Okay.
It's, KLUBNICO.
With a K. Great. Okay, thank you so much. Now we're going to move on finally because Dave has not mentioned a word yet. No, you've not heard. Dave Grigsby from the Kayak Connection. How you doing, Dave?
I'm great. Yeah. Really happy to be here, Matthew.
So take me back. How long has the Kayak Connection been up and running?
Kayak Connection's been around since 1990.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark Pastick and Margaret Collins founded it back then, and we took over about 3 years ago.
Oh, so kind of recent.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What were you doing before that?
Oh, Lord. I've done a lot of things. You know, it's funny, you asked earlier about the entrepreneurial vein. And
yeah.
I'd never really thought of myself in that way, but I started thinking back. I've had several small businesses.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, I had a little recruiting firm for a while. I had an adventure racing company. We put on adventure races in the Sierra. I was an insurance agent for a while, and you're an independent contractor there. I worked in Australia as a contractor, so I've done a lot of different things with an entrepreneurial bent.
Let's be honest, and did every one of those endeavors work out?
Hell no.
Yeah.
No, they all ended in spectacular failure.
But look what you're
and
now.
Here I am now.
Yeah. So it takes a couple misses, doesn't
it? Absolutely. That's one lesson I've learned. You got to keep swinging.
Yeah. So what was it about the Kayak Connection? We're like, oh man, I want to buy that. I mean, were you a kayaker yourself before?
I was. I've been a whitewater paddler for 20 years. Longtime surfer, longtime ocean person. And my best friend, partner, and wife, Jessica, is full-time in the business too.
Okay.
And she grew up in state parks, really outdoorsy girl. I really lucked out on that one.
So it works out as also business-wise? Do you feel like, because it's hard to have a partner.
It
and
is.
then adding a family member.
Yeah.
Actually, a wife. Yeah. That's a different...
It's a different dynamic, and I only recommend it to those folks who've really thought about it. It's great, because I get to go to work with my best friend and life partner. And some days it's challenging. The saving grace is we have 2 shops.
Okay.
So we've got
so one in Moss Landing.
Right, exactly. We've got a shop in the Moss Landing Harbor and one in the Santa Cruz small craft harbor.
So
we're rarely in the same shop at the same time.
So do you feel like it's 7:00 at night and you guys are still talking about shop till?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's because you're excited about it.
Oh yeah. We love it. It is. Outside of marrying my wife, it's the single greatest thing I've done in my life.
So let's talk about the actual, I should have asked this first.
Yeah.
But what is the Kayak Connection?
What is Kayak Connection?
Is that where you get good prices on hotels and...
No, we're not a travel agency.
No.
We actually deal in the hard good, the plastic kayak. So we do rentals, tours, lessons, and retail sales out of our 2 shops in the 2 harbors that we operate in.
And I'm sorry, you said Moss Landing. What's the other one again?
Santa Cruz.
Okay.
Santa Cruz Harbor.
Okay. And what was it then? I'm not sure if we totally covered it, but what was it that how did it
come about?
Yeah, Mark had it. Mark had it.
Mark and Margaret. Yeah.
Like, I want to sell it. And what happened? You came to them.
So here's what happened. Our kids were born here. We've got an 8 and a 10-year-old daughters. We lived here before. Kids were born here, and we had to move away. We got promoted out of Santa Cruz County, which was just heartbreaking.
Oh, no.
Got to tell you. I went down to Southern California. I felt like a prisoner of war down there. But
I guess my parents are sitting in the audience from Los Angeles.
No offense. Yeah, we were in Santa Monica.
Okay.
I was a commercial insurance broker. My wife was a plaintiff's attorney, and she hated her gig, and I wasn't exactly doing backflips over mine. Nobody was happy to see us coming through the door. Okay. You either had a bill or some bad news if you saw me. And I knew Kayak Connection from when we lived here before, and just started doing some research on businesses for sale on the Central Coast, because we both knew that's where we wanted to land eventually. And it was the very first one that popped up.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? And I called my wife and I said, hey, I found it. This is the one. We got to do this. But the real challenge was coming up with the financing, because we didn't own a home. We really had not a whole lot to our name. So, we worked on the deal for about a year. And I'll tell you, for the first 11 months of that year, it was a complete pipe dream. It really was. It was one of those things where I'm going to keep working on this, but it's probably not going to happen. But I'm just going to keep working on it. And my God, wouldn't it be awesome if it worked? And, we found a local banker at Santa Cruz Community Credit Union, and she knew the business, and she was willing to take a chance on us. And thank God she did. I mean, it's been fantastic.
You get to love what you do every time you go to work.
Exactly. If you love what you do, you don't have to work a day in your life.
But that sounds stressful to me, buying a business, because a lot of times you start with many people, they start a business and okay, I don't want to owe any money. I don't want any debt. I just want to I'll slowly add up. I'll make sales or whatever. So
absolutely.
You spent whatever amount of thousands of dollars to open the business, and day one, you owe a lot of money.
In the hole, big time. And I've been allergic to debt my entire life.
That's a good allergic reaction.
It really is. It's something I really wanted to avoid. But, I did a lot of research and a lot of planning, and just did the math and figured that we could pay it off, and it's worked out. Obviously it's not going to be paid off for quite a while, but financially it's working out well for us.
So
you're right. I mean, it is a big leap.
Yeah.
And it was something we really thought long and hard about.
So if someone's listened to the show before, they know I've mentioned it. My one addiction is Mountain Dew. It's a terrible addiction.
That's disgusting.
I'm only 100.
That's horrible, man.
It's really bad. Yeah. I'm only 140 pounds if I'm if I just got out of the shower and I'm wearing 5 pounds of clothes or something.
A 40-pound fur coat.
Yeah, so not the most healthiest person. Would I be a good person? It's hey, I want to go, go in the Elkhorn Slough or something.
Oh, absolutely, Matthew. Yeah, you'd be a great meal for a hungry sea otter.
Good. Okay, as long as I have something.
Yeah. No. In all seriousness, you would not believe the people that we put into kayaks down there that come back and have had one of the experiences of their lives. We put soccer moms from Dubuque who've never seen the ocean before, and are completely freaked out, and maybe 200 pounds overweight, and they get out there and it's almost like going on an African safari. The amount of stuff that you can see down there it's just phenomenal, and it just blows people away.
Do you pass by the sea otters? Is that one of your?
I can guarantee you will see sea otters.
Yeah. That is awesome. I mean, think about where in the United States can you guarantee that can happen? That's pretty awesome.
It's one of the best places to view wildlife in North America. And I mean, this past summer we had humpback whales just going bananas right outside the harbor mouth.
That was amazing. It seems like just the last couple of years we've had those moments.
Yeah, it feels like the bay is really just coming back to life. It's really cool to see.
Awesome. Okay, so next up, this sounded all great and fun. But let's talk about the challenges. Let's talk about the challenges of being an entrepreneur, because it's I think we've all mentioned, it's not easy. So thank you very much. We'll talk to you in 2 minutes.
If your online experience is like this, and you'd like it to be much more like this, then call Jubico on 454-0850. The team at Jubico has spent the last 13 years transforming web experiences that feel like this to this. So if dealing with the web can sometimes feel like this,
The latter consisted simply of 6 hydrophobic
then
muzzle
call us at 454-0850 or check us out online at jabico.com, jabico.com.
The first thing they look at is your shoes. Hi, I'm Ellen Gill.
And if they see you in shoes and socks from Sock Shop and Shoe Company, they'll likely look up to you. Hello, I'm Eric Gill.
Sock Shop and Shoe Company has proudly outfitted Santa Cruz County in the best footwear for more than 25 years.
And with your support, we've turned our little Sock Shop and Shoe Company into a one-of-a-kind shoe store that attracts shoppers worldwide.
As the quintessentially locally owned Santa Cruz store, Sock Shop and Shoe Company proudly supports the efforts of Think Local First to promote the locally owned and independent businesses that make our community a special place to live and work.
And we hope you keep in mind all the local entrepreneurs who provide us with such wonderful variety of places to eat, work, and live, and who build a strong local economy for all of us. When you head out to shop, please remember to
Think local first. People will look up to you.
Welcome back to the Think Local First radio show. So, it sounds all exciting, all fun, all rosy. Everything works perfect. You know, they start a business and made millions of dollars. We know it's tough. We know there's challenges. I want to know what that is. I guarantee there's challenges. Starting a business, or guaranteed there's challenges just like on a day-to-day basis, trying to keep that business going. Staff, employees, trying to make a KickStarter, then 90,000 people to fork up that money. So I want to ask you guys, and I'm going to open it up. Who's first? Who has what wakes them up at 2 or 3 in the morning? Or what wakes you up? Kelley?
I'll go first.
Yeah, Kelley looks like she was smiling there.
Yeah, no, it's hard to have your own company. For a while, cash flow for me was a really big issue. You know, my company was growing and I'm getting all these big orders and it's so exciting and yes, I'm doing it. And then you think, oh my gosh, how the heck am I going to pay the factories to get these produced? And
that's funny because when you always when you watch Shark Tank, they're always you know what? Walmart wants me to $80,000 worth of these, but I don't have that money, so that's why I'm coming here.
Exactly. So I went through a period last year, about a year and a half ago, where it was a really big struggle. We had some really strong growing pains, and it was really stressful. It sucks to, not have enough money and worry about, okay, how am I going to pay for this? How am I going to, pay for employees? And then thankfully, I made it through. I was able to make it through. I found additional funding through a bank, and I actually got an SBA loan through Wells Fargo, which helped me tremendously. And then 2, it's just a matter of trying to negotiate better payment terms with factories. I mean, you play different. It's like you're playing this big chess game, and you just have to maneuver all your men just to make things work. So,
did you feel like you were really working, when you were coming up with the idea for the company? You probably weren't thinking about that.
No, you don't think
You're thinking about
that.
designing the shoes.
Exactly. No, and people think, oh, how cool, you're a shoe designer. I mean, that's great. I love to design
10%
shoes.
of
If I'm lucky, I get to sit down and, play with shoes, materials. But the biggest, I spend my most amount of time running the business. Yeah, and figuring out how to make everything work. So at least though I made it through that hump or over that hump.
Yeah.
And
well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah. And so, it's growing, but I know it's you can't rest easy too, because
What's the next challenge you're going to
well, I'm placing a lot of our spring orders now that are going to be ready. So I know, you just have to really always be on top of your cash flow and make sure everything's good.
What about you, Dave?
Oh, well, I would say one of our biggest challenges, but also one of the coolest parts about what we do.
Wait a minute, don't go PC on this.
I'm not. Okay. I'm not. It's the management of our staff.
Okay.
And, our staff largely are younger, early 20s, late teens. If you think summer camp counselor, that type of a person. And they're all super enthusiastic and excited to be there. but we have a high turnover just because, they go on to careers, they graduate from their marine biology program at UCSC or whatever the case may be. And so we're constantly bringing in a new batch every year, and it's finding those people, training them, getting up to speed, and just the management of young people. There's romances that blossom. There's little, all sorts of little things that go on. But it's also one of the coolest parts of what we do is watching these people that we bring on board blossom and learn.
Probably hard to see them leave sometimes too.
Oh,
you get to develop these relationships.
It's heartbreaking sometimes, but it's really cool because we keep in touch with them and watch them in their adventures as they head off to Chile or Australia or whatever.
You have like a fleet of like alumni Kayak Connection.
At one point it seemed like everybody in Santa Cruz had worked for Kayak Connection. I think.
Nice. So you had a good part in that.
Yeah.
So Justis, how about you? And you haven't. It's not like officially launched yet, the business, but I know that you must be a little stressed about all that's going on, especially for one, you're working full time for your solar company. You got to fit this in whatever possible. What's stressing you out?
Yeah, I mean,
or you're not stressed out. You actually.
It comes in waves. Okay. I really believe in my product. I think it's something that everybody who owns a smartphone can use. It's widely applicable. Yeah. So I really believe in it. But realistically, and I've sourced a great team to design it. So it's going to be professional product and all these things. But still, if people don't know about it, you could have a great product and it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. So just getting eyeballs on the project, is one. And then, like you said, having a full-time job and then doing this outside of work is, it's a lot of work. I mean, I love doing it because it's something that I'm excited about. I've in prototyping this thing, I've done bungee jumping and skateboarding and crowd surfing and all these super fun things.
Tax write-offs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. My tagline is capture your imagination, and it's like
nice.
Whatever
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Whatever you can conceive of, go and do it, and then capture that experience. So.
I can totally see you two somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You need to go on a kayak for the video.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the challenges. It's definitely stressful, but it's worth it, don't you guys think?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you're not stuck in a cubicle. Yeah, you're not stuck with someone telling you what to do. Yeah, and this is probably except for you, Justis, but that won't be long. That's not the goal. No. But yeah, it's like, I love the idea of entrepreneurism, how you can create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Like people always ask me like, wait, how did this start? I said, well, I just did a website and then I made an event. I was like, what? Yeah. And it's like, I think it takes a different kind of person to really think that, because they think like, oh, who owns a business? That's like, that just happened to them or something. But no, we all had to work on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that kind of brings us to what drives and motivates us, though, to keep on going. So let me ask, what is it? What is it, Kelley, that keeps you thinking like, oh, I so want to do this. I keep on doing, my shoe business.
Well, for one, I really enjoy what I do. I work really hard, but at the end of the day, I really like what I do. I like the products that we develop, and to keep me going is just, I think, the challenges. I'm the type of person, I love a challenge, and I really want to see Klub Nico grow and continue to grow. I mean, when I said, okay, even though I'm in Nordstrom, I'm not going to sit back and take it easier. I'm going to work even harder now to make sure I can grow that business with them. And there's other retailers that I'm not in yet. My shoes should be there. So
I like that idea. My shoes should be there.
They should be there. Yeah, I
Why
think
not?
so. Yeah. And so it's just that drive. And then I have a ton of ideas of new products I want to launch, different things. I think it's just my nature of who I am. And it's fun. It's rewarding. Even right now, I have a bigger team now. I have 4 girls that work with me. And it's really cool to see, it was like a one-man operation. Yeah. That's, blossoming into a team that we're all, get along really well, and we're doing some really cool stuff together.
Is that cool when you actually see things are happening and you weren't the one that actually initially had to do that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, your team actually does some things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what? Things work while I'm gone.
Exactly. Yeah. How about you, Justis? What keeps you motivated, even though it's the very beginning? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's multi-dimensional, I guess, but I believe in destiny. Mm-hmm. I believe that God gives us all opportunities and relationships and resources in life, And it's a matter of exploring that and like making the most out of your immediate surroundings. You know, some of us have been given a lot and some of us not so much, and it's what you make out of it.
You definitely seem like that. You know, I don't feel like I know you too well, but I've seen you from time to time at different events and so forth, and maybe I follow you on Instagram or something, but I just feel like you really take advantage of your time.
I try.
Yeah. Is that true? His wife's here? Does he do that? She nods yes. Yeah. Okay, how about you, Dave? What drives and motivates you to keep on going?
Well, that's not very hard for me. I feel like I'm the luckiest guy I know by far. I get to go play on the Monterey Bay every day. So that doesn't take a whole lot of motivation to get back out there. But I think when you do what you love, you never have to work a day in your life. That's the thing. You got to find what you love and figure out a way to make it work.
What do we didn't really touch on that as much, but like, what is a day in the life of you?
Oh,
I mean, are you really
okay?
Are you really on a kayak?
Today I was patching a rusty van in the rain.
Okay.
And then the computer in the shop broke down.
Okay.
And then I had to rush through traffic to get up here. So, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be.
But every day is different.
Every day is different, and every day is exciting. And I get to work with some of the best people in the business. I'm very fortunate, and seeing what they come up with, what ideas that they have, is fantastic.
Nice.
So it's not a chore in the least bit.
So what's new on the horizon for you three? Let's start off with Kelley. What's new? You mentioned something that's happening in Watsonville coming up soon.
Yeah, we're having our annual factory sale in Watsonville. It's going to be on December 6th, and don't ask me the address because I don't know it. It's at a different location all the time, but it's a great event. The community, people who know about it, love it. So basically, we bring out a lot of our samples. We bring out a lot of excess inventory from our different warehouses.
Okay.
We bring into Watsonville, and we have like super discounted. And it's a fun event.
Nice.
It's like good for Christmas shopping, buying stuff for yourself or friends. So.
How about, you did mention your spring line is coming. Like, when does it actually officially come out?
So spring is shipping, January is when we have our first ship dates.
Okay.
So we'll be shipping from January to like March, April. And then I actually just got back from Brazil yesterday. I was down the south of Brazil. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't forget to come. Yeah.
Yes. I think I forgot to tell you, to remind you, actually.
No, it's all good. No, but yeah, so I was just down in Brazil working on our fall 15 collection. So that's exciting. So I go to New York beginning of December, so it's going to be kind of a fall preview. So the full launch would be in February.
Great. Okay, and Justis. So we kind of talked about it, but so what's the next month and a half look like for you?
Hopefully it's going to be insane.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm very, I like that energy. I like meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
We have some super cool things coming up with the KickStarter. Recently met with Tyler Fox, who's a local big wave surfer. He was in Chasing Mavericks. He's, co-founded Santa Cruz Waves. He's going to be, there's going to be some promotional items in the KickStarter, like
they're surfing. For that.
Yeah, totally. Surfing with Tyler Fox is going to be one of the promo items.
Not bad. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. We have local pro skater Manuel Guzman in the video, the KickStarter video. So again, I love meeting new people and just exploring all these different avenues.
You didn't ask me to be in the video. You should see me skate the other week. It's been like 20 years since I last skated. I won't tell you what I did to my arm the first 5 minutes. No. How about you, Dave? What's new on the horizon for Kayak Connection? I mean, is it just like the same old day-to-day people?
There's no same old.
Yeah.
There's no same old. One of the secrets, I think, that is the weather here is spectacular this time of year.
Don't tell anybody.
Outside of a few showers, and there's just no crowds. This is my favorite time of year by far. Yeah. It's stellar, and it's a great time to get out there. We've got all the migratory birds through the slough. Still got whales out there. There's just tons to see, and no crowds, no fog, no wind.
So how does somebody, if they want to go rent a kayak, do they have to go online and reserve? Do they
just give us a call.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if it's midweek, just drop in. But if it's on a weekend, it's probably best to call.
Cool, awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to hand it over to the guest. Do you guys have any questions that you guys would like to ask each other? Anybody come up with
So
one?
I had not a question, but more of a comment for Dave, or promo, actually. So my mother-in-law got us a gift certificate to Kayak Connection in Moss Landing.
Right on.
And
I hope it's not expired.
No, so check this out.
I know a guy that can help you with it.
It took forever to like go and organize and go down there because I like, extreme things. I'm like, kayaking, that's not very extreme. So, but I love animals and I love nature. So all right, let's go give it a shot. And I study biology at UCSC, so I'm kind of like living things. So we go down there, and I love interacting with animals, and so we go out on the kayak. And my wife was wearing a HANSNAP. She got some cool footage and pictures, and she wasn't rowing at all.
That's typical.
That out there.
Yeah,
and I like to engage with animals. So it was amazing, just getting as close as I could to the animals. I don't think you're supposed to do that, so don't do that. But I'm being a biologist, I can do that.
Right, you got the license, right?
Yeah. So it was a great experience.
So we should all go with you, is what you're saying.
Yes. Yeah. I will be your tour guide.
Yeah, I'd love to check out. Have some hand snaps on board.
That would be awesome.
That would be really cool.
Yeah,
I could see that to being a fantastic partnership.
So yeah, that's great. We should do that. But
Sure.
it was super fun, is my point. And
Nice.
Yeah. So, I hear you about thinking kayaking is an extreme, and it can be as extreme as you want it to be. It can be mellow, or you could be scared for your life. It just depends on what you put yourself.
Is there like
into.
the package, the Scared for Your Life package? Like I want to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We got a couple guys on staff that'll do that.
So I call in. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to be scared for my life.
Yeah.
Let me. Okay, good.
That's the special deal.
Good. Okay. I better start off with the medium one. Go ahead. Any other questions? Can you think of anything else?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for your HANSNAP, is it just geared for smartphones, or do you want to do like a GoPro, or are you doing different prototypes, or?
So yeah, the main focus, the main target is for smartphones, because I think that now in our level of sophistication with smartphones, they can do so much, but you haven't had a way to like make it safe so that you can do everything you can with it. So that's my initial thrust. I do want to design, we are in the process of designing a mechanism to attach it to a GoPro as well.
Yeah, because I think that would be huge. You can just take it that extra step.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that's such a good idea, Justis, because everybody has a smartphone.
Yeah.
And like you said, the capabilities of the devices these days, the cameras on them are phenomenal.
And everybody's in a mosh pit.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Everybody, yeah.
Right?
That's why my back is so sore right now.
My wife and I were at John Craigie last night at the Kumbwa, and you would not believe the mosh
crazy.
pit that was forming in front of the stage there.
Those two guys, yeah. That was crazy. Okay, so we probably have minutes. Let me ask you. I feel like we can talk another hour here, but what advice would you give to a new entrepreneur? Any ideas? And that's kind of throwing a curve there, but what
I would say don't listen to the naysayers, and if you believe in yourself, don't give up. Go.
Because it's not easy. I mean, right? Even like with your family sometimes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If I'd listen to my family, I'd be a financial analyst.
Yeah. Oh, on that note, the show's over. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for our guest. Make sure you tune in next week to the Think Local First radio show. Have a great weekend. Stay dry.